Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Jack Flanigan. I'm an undergraduate, and I'm one of the co-chairs for the Student Board for Intellectual Vitality.
And hi, everyone. I'm Ari. I am also an undergrad, and I'm the other co-chair for the Student Board for Intellectual Vitality.
So Ari and I spend a lot of time working on this initiative called Intellectual Vitality, but what does that even mean? We think that the above diagram really helps contextualize the work we do in three distinct buckets. So first, we understand ourselves as coming out of a culture that we're trying to bring towards one where people really feel valued and seen and where they can be their authentic selves. This is something like saying hi to a classmate or assuming the best intentions of those in your community. From this kind of culture of trust, we hope that, or we believe that the intellectual virtues will create a sort of environment of intellectual vitality where people will concentrate on their academics, where they will listen with charity and argumentative rigor for the potential points of disagreement and that they may have with another person. And this actually, we think, will give rise to civil discourse, which we know many people focus on, but we understand as really requiring a foundation of a culture of trust and also the cultivation of intellectual virtues. However, intellectual vitality is also a fairly unique student-faculty partnership, and Ari will tell us a little bit more about our organizational form.
Yeah, so when we started Intellectual Vitality, it started out of a series of conversations that I had with a number of my peers in various different class years, and from this sense that there was really something missing to our Harvard education, that, classroom conversations tended to converge on consensus almost instantly, and we felt like we didn't have a clear understanding of what the common project that we were all sort of involved in, whether we were at the SEC or we were in Emerson Hall studying philosophy. And so out of that series of conversations, we worked together to create the Intellectual Vitality Statement, which you can find on our website. But through that process, we really then created the structure of intellectual vitality that was then unveiled around the same time as October 7th was happening and many other developments in the sort of world beyond Harvard. And so it was sort of perceived as this institutional response, which in some ways it was because it revealed how much had actually, what the gaps that had actually been there all along. But at the same time, it was also not necessarily a top-down response in the sense that this was really something that the students felt like they needed and they wanted, and it was and felt empowered to bring and to co-shape their education and their community that they were a part of. So from that experience, we created the Intellectual Vitality Student Board, which is really part of work, and we work alongside the faculty board and with the Office of Intellectual Vitality to make sure that students are really part of shaping the form that intellectual vitality takes. And so one of our really key goals in creating intellectual vitality is that we want to really highlight and augment where it's already happening and it's working really well in the classrooms and where it's working really well in extracurriculars and in the houses, and also recognizing where there are these pockets where people don't experience it at all. So how do we use the forum of intellectual vitality through our student board, which represents students from all different class years and extracurricular backgrounds and concentrations, to really reach out into these different communities and help with the resources and support to really make it thrive. So it's personal transformation, personal intellectual and social transformation isn't just something that's pulled out at convocation and commencement, but is really embedded into every student's experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.